Hello and welcome to Big Games' latest unboxing video for the brand new Future Card Buddyfight set extra booster, H-EB03 Lord of 100 Thunders. So this set supports pretty much all the worlds and obviously focuses on the some of the 100 lords, the Omni Lords. So I'm just going to open it up, go through each of the boosters and have a look and see what we get. So there's one of two promo cards going to be on the top here. And we have the Evil Deity, Evil Demon, Goku Yamagudo, who's a size 3 monster, 7,000 power and defense, attack and defense, and 2 critical there. And then his ability, cool cost, pay 2 gauge and put 1 or more 100 demons from your field into his soul. And he has the Thundermine ability. So this is when a monster enters your opponent's field, deal 1 damage to your opponent. This ability activates once per turn, and he has Penetrate and Soul Guard. So with that automatic Soul Guards coming from the fact that you have to put the 100 demon in there, that's, you know, already putting your Soul Guard in there. So useful. So let's get cracking into these packs then and see what we get. So first up we have a spell here for Magic World. So this is one of the 100 demon cards, as you can see by the extra attribute there. And it's 100 Demon Sorcery Mad Dancing spell. It's a set spell, and all monsters on your field get move. Move being very useful, which is before your opponent's attack phase, you get to move them around. There's going to be a lot of set spells, and can see spell disruption, destruction being quite a key thing coming through these sets now. So, put comments down there. Then we have 100 Demon Sorcery Banryufto. I'm going to horribly pronounce these as I always do, so my apologies. And this card is for the Ancient World. It's another set card, and all monsters in the left and right on your field get plus 1,000 power and defense. And when this card is put from your field into your drop zone, search your deck for up to one size 0 monster from your deck, put it in your hand, and shuffle the deck. So, interesting one, which gives you the bonus of being of getting the power and defense bonus, but also you get a bonus when your opponent does eventually probably remove it. And we have another 100 Demons Formation Thundermine stance. So Thundermine is going to be quite a popular mechanic through this set. Another set spell, this time with a counter act. During the main phase of your opponent's turn, call a size 2 or less monster with Thundermine from your drop zone by paying the call cost. And you can only do this once per turn. And you may only set one of these on your field, so you can't just fill your field with these and set a load of Thundermines off in one go, unfortunately. Then we have World Snake, 11,000 attack and power and defense, with 4 critical as well. Now it is a size 3, but the call cost is discard 2 cards from hand, so the call cost isn't terrible either. So pretty big hit there for Legend World. So we have a single R here, another size 3, 11,000 power and 7,000 defense, and again 4 critical, so these are nasty hitters. Costs 3 gauge to play, but you do get double attack, and the downside unfortunately of lifelink 4. And then we have another rare, so this is Giant Fiend Sword, Kuromuramasa. So this is an item for the Katana world. It's 6,000 power and 4 critical again. It costs a gauge to equip, and when it attacks you take a damage, so you are paying unfortunately for getting that nice power and crit on there. So we have another 100 Demon Sorcery no-brainer for Magic World, so this one isn't a set. It's choose a monster on your field during your turn. When that monster attacks your opponent's monster, put a card from the attacked monster's soul into the drop zone, then destroy one of the attacked monsters. Effectively, you're just getting around Soul Guards there. Then we have the Great Demonic Sword, Clarenta. 5,000 power and 2 crit, costs a gauge to play, and when it attacks and deals damage to your opponent, if there are a total of 4 or more different cards with hero or 100 demons in your drop zone, destroy an item on your opponent's field, and it has equipment change ability as well. Our first impact card, so 100 Demons Raid, 100 Legion, lots of hundreds. So this is an impact for the Dungeon World. You can only cast it if there are 2 or more monsters with Dungeon Enemy or 100 Demons on your field. It costs you 2 gauge. choose one of the following 2 effects. Destroy all size 2 or less monsters on your opponent's field and deal 2 damage to your opponent. Or destroy all spells on the field and deal 2 damage to your opponent. So, nice bit of utility on this impact card. Doesn't require your opponent to be at low life either, so this is going to be quite a useful impact card, I can see. Oh, we have the Ruler of Terror rare here, with a very nice foiling effect. So this is a spell for the hero world. You have to set it. You cannot put cards into this card soul other than by its ability. And when your card destroys your opponent's monster, put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. And when the total number of monsters with Dark Hero 100 Demons in this card soul becomes 5 or more, you win the game. So this is one of the alternate win condition cards. I don't think we've seen any others in Buddyfight before, so very cool card, Ruler of Terror. It's going to be a bit tricky to pull off those conditions, seeing as you're only allowed to put cards into the soul of it via its own effect, so you're going to have to run a lot of destruction, but then running a lot of destruction means you're not necessarily going to pull that top deck Dark Hero 100 Demon card that you might need, but you could. I'm looking forward to seeing some decks made up with this Ruler of Terror. I'm a big fan of alternate win conditions, and I'm looking forward to that one being played. And then we have Nightmare Scream Dragon, size 2 for Dragon World. Costs you a gauge and put up to 2 size 2 or less 100 demons from your drop zone into its soul. This card gets all Thundermine of cards in its soul. This is going to be a very useful card. Thundermine is a very cool ability, and to have multiple instances of it in the Nightmare Scream. However, it doesn't have things like Soul Guard or anything, so we'll see. And then last we have the 100 Demons mission card, Aim for the Link. I quite like the artwork on there. No. So it's another set spell for Dungeon World, and when you cast a spell, put the top card of your deck into this card's soul face down, and when there are 3 or more cards in the card's soul, put this card into your drop zone to destroy a card on your opponent's field, and you may only set 1 of these. So interesting, but potentially a little bit limited, unfortunately. So for Katana World, we have 100 Demons Sorcery, Yamimono Imi. Oh, I hope I said that right. This is a counter spell which you can only cast when you're being attacked to move a 100 Demons monster on your field to the centre and change the target of the attack to that monster. Useful when Katana World's going to want to run some weapons. Then we have Crush Execute Dragon. So not too much to say there on a vanilla card. Oops, spoilers for the next one. Then we have 100 Demons Sorcery Death Sacrifice. So this is for Darkness Dragon World. It's you have to destroy as many monsters on your field as you like, and then draw cards equal to the number of monsters destroyed. So you could technically do this for 0, but I wouldn't advise it. So at most you're getting 3 draws out of there, but you are destroying your monsters in the process, and I believe that can be quite beneficial for Darkness Dragon, but certain Darkness Dragon builds. You have Red Dragon Igneo, size 2, very low on the defense there, only 2,000, but with 6,000 power. And his Flame Breath is when he enters the field, deal damage to your opponent. You can only do this once per turn. It's almost like an alternative Thundermine, isn't it? Just not so mean. Another Rule of Terror, however, with the normal foiling here. Oh wow, we have an SP. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful card. 100 Demons General Gishing Yugi. It's a size 3 monster, 10,000 power, 5,000 defense, 2 critical. Costs 2 gauge to play, and his act ability is if this card is in your drop zone, pay a life and put a Skull Warrior or 100 Demons from your field into your drop zone to call this card from your drop zone by paying the 2 gauge. And then it also has double attack, but absolutely beautiful with the gold foiling there. You can see reflecting, and the fact that the artwork is, it's a full art borderless text card. That is a glorious SP. Absolutely beautiful. Very happy to have gotten that one. So, the rest of the box is going to be a bit anticlimactic now, isn't it? So, let the camera come back into focus. So, Water Spirits, Rusalka. All monsters on your opponent's field cannot move or return to hand. Interesting, but again, limited in scope, I think. 100 Demon Sorcery, Ryuzen Sakuma. I butchered that, sorry. So it's an Ancient World counter spell to choose a Wild Dragon or 100 Demons monster in battle, and for this battle give it plus 3000 power defense and the counter attack ability. So lets you hopefully keep one of your dragons alive and then take your opponent down for having dared try and hit you. We have the Gate of Dragon for the Dragon World. Costs a gauge to play. You have to set it, and you and your opponent cannot call size 1 or less monsters from the drop zone. Pardon me, sorry. And when this card is put from your field to your drop zone, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge. So it refills your gauge when it's removed, and I'm big. I quite like cards that have effects when removed. But the inability for your opponent to call size 1 or less monsters from the drop zone could hamstring some of the decks out there. So interesting side choice. We have One-Winged Hate Dragon, Left Slasher. Very low defense there at 1000, but it is only a size 1 as well. Costs a gauge to play. It has the Spectral Strike, so when it destroys your opponent's monster, it deals a damage to your opponent directly. And the Thundermine ability as well, so when your opponent plays a monster onto the field, on the left, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Oof. Who likes Thundermine again? Then we have 100 Demons Destructive Power Rauga. So you can only cast this card if there is 100 demons on your field, which with this set shouldn't be a problem. And it has counter to destroy a monster on your field to gain 3 life. So this could just help you get out of a tricky bind. And we have Double R, Guido Shield. So another spell, this time for the Dragon World. You can only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn, and if there are 2 or more 100 demons on your field, so it's not just a normal counter. Costs you a gauge to play to null the attack, but also to deal 1 damage to your opponent. This card cannot be nullified. So interesting, probably like I'd say maybe if you could probably run 2 of maybe 3 in a deck if you are focusing on that, on having the 100 demons one in your Dragon World deck. 100 Demon Sorceries, Do or Die. It's a bit decisive, isn't it? So this is a Magic World spell. You can only cast this card when a monster on your field is destroyed, and if there's a wizard or 100 demons on your field, and you counter by destroying a size 2 or less monster on your opponent's field. So simple removal. Evil Deity Altar. So casting cost is to put the top 3 cards of your deck into its soul when it's set, and when a monster in your field is destroyed, put a card from this card's soul into your drop zone. Then when the number of cards in this card's soul becomes 0, you may call a size 3 Demon Lord or 100 demons from your drop zone on the center by paying the call cost. So a nice way to potentially get a size 3 back into play for you Dungeon World people who don't already do enough of that sort of thing. Hero World, you've finally done it. I love the Hero World card names. You may only cast this card when you take damage from your opponent's card. We're seeing a lot of effects like that, for example Thundermine. Counter, draw a card, then if you have a Dark Hero 100 demons on the field, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So they take it back. Take it back. Take the damage. Guillotine Axe Dragon, another Thundermine, but when a monster with Dragon in its attribute enters your opponent's field, or if your opponent casts a spell with Dragon in its attribute, they take a damage this time for this Thundermine. Although, with only 2,000 defense, he's not going to be hanging around long, and with only 2,000 power, he's not going to be doing much attacking either. We have Battle Hyena Dolls for Dungeon World. Again, low power and defense, but his ability, you can only call him if you have a dungeon enemy or 100 demons already on the field. And when your opponent is dealt damage by the effect of your card, put this card from your field into the drop zone to put the top card of your deck into the gauge and draw a card. So he just restocks your gauge and lets you draw, hopefully, assuming obviously your opponent's running damage dealing effects. And we have the Triple R for the Hero World. 100 Demons General Bryden. So 8,000 power, 6,000 defense. It's a size 3. Costs you 2 gauge to play him. And he has Counter Act, I Have Come. During your turn, you may put a Dark Hero or 100 Demon from your field into your drop zone. To call this card from your hand by paying its call cost, you may only use I Have Come once per turn. And at the end of the battle that this card attacked, return it to your hand. So if you didn't have the first ability, that second one would be a bit cruel. But yeah, so interesting size 3 for the Dark Heroes to have. Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't really played any Dark Hero decks, so I'm not 100% sure on how the best way to run them is yet, so let's open this up. So we have Scorpion Armor, Kemrosai. Size 2 monster, 6,000 defense here, but with only 2,000 power and 2 crit. And when he attacks and deals damage to your opponent's item cannot stand during their next stand phase. So, yeah, again, a bit of a narrow card, unfortunately, I think. We have an Armor Knight Naga, so for Danger World. So he was in much Danger World, so. Again, low stats, although it is a size 0, so not unexpected. But during your opponent's turn, if there is an item on your opponent's field, you can pay a gauge to call this card from hand, choose an item from your opponent's field, and until end of turn that gets minus 3,000 power, defense, and critical minus 2. So this could be useful if your opponent's playing one of the Hero World item transform decks, etc. So then we have Steel Fist, Black Knuckle. So this is an item card for Darkness Dragon World. Costs you a gauge and a life to play him. And when it deals damage to your opponent, put the top card of your deck into your gauge. So it's going to charge your gauge back up, provided you get that damage through, so he's repaying his cost already. And counteract to pay a gauge, good thing he generates more, to give him plus 2,000 power, which hopefully would be enough to get you through. 100 Demon Sorcery, Haya Kaiuran. I'm sorry. You may only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn to put the top card of your deck into your drop zone, and if it was a monster, null the attack and gain 2 life. Interesting, although I feel that Katana World probably does run quite a few spells generally. Again, there's always exceptions, so. But it's an interesting one. Oh, spoilers there. Then we have Phantom Dragon Emperor, Lucas Vision. So this is for the Ancient World, 6,000 power, 4,000 defense, and 2 critical at size 2. Counteract, if you have a size 3 monster on your field, discard this card from the hand and pay a gauge to put a size 3 monster from your drop zone to your hand, but also lifelink 1. So really this is just a utility card to get your size 3s cycled back through so you can get back into play. And we have a double R, Castra Forbidden Techniques, Felgaran. So for a size 0, 1,000 power and defense is just enough, and only 1 critical. But that's not what you're playing for. You're playing for this. Act, pay 2 life to call a size 3 monster from your hand without paying the call cost. You can only do this once per turn. So this can help you cheat out those size 3s quite easily. So yes, very interesting card there. So on to the next boost set. Like I say, we've already seen a beautiful SP card, so unfortunately it's going to be a bit anticlimactic with these, but we'll see what else we get. So this is 100 Demon Sorcery Nemesis Thunder, a spell card for the Legend World, where you have to pay 2 gauge to destroy an item on the field. Again, item destruction is useful in most situations these days. A lot of decks run items, so item removal is useful. 100 Demon Sorcery Mad Dancing. You have to set this one, and then all monsters on your field get move. Another good utility piece. Evil Dryad. So this is a Thunder Mine for the Dungeon World. It Thunder Mines when a size 2 monster enters your opponent field. So it's a little more limited than some of the other ones. I mean, the Dragon one obviously was, not necessarily incredibly limited because there's a lot of dragons, but only focusing on the size 2. Not every deck runs huge amounts of them, so. But still, it's a Thunder Mine. Mysterious Dakar, I'm so sorry. Size 2 monster, 6,000 power, 3,000 defense, 2 crit. When it enters the field, play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent. The fighter who wins destroys a card on the field. Top tip, Jankampoi is also a fun way to say rock, paper, scissors. So this could backfire on you if you do lose that, unfortunately. But also, by paying 2 gauge, you can then replay it once. So you can replay even if you lose. I wouldn't imagine you'd replay it if you lost, but if you won. But hey ho. Then we have 100 Demon Spear, Onikazushi. So 5,000 power, 2 crit. You cannot attack the left or right with this card. so it is limited on its attack range. But when it attacks and destroys your opponent's monster or deals damage to your opponent, put the top card of your deck into your gauge. So at no cool cost, it's a good way to refill your gauge with this one. And then we get Proto-Golem Jareem. You can only call this card if you have a demon enemy or 100 demons monster on your field, and when your opponent is dealt damage by the effect of your card, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge. This only activates once per turn. As to be fair, if it did it more than once per turn, you'd probably end up decking yourself out, to be fair. So again, interesting choice, especially if you are going to sort of go down the Thundermine route with the Dungeon World. We have a Rock Dragon, Galagoron. So this is for the Danger World at size 0. Only 2k a piece on its stats and 1 crit. And when your opponent is dealt damage by the effect of Thundermine, you can pay a gauge to destroy an item or spell on your opponent's field. Again, if you're building a Thundermine deck, this could be useful to run a couple of, just as a sort of small removal piece. But we'll see. 100 Demon Sorcery, Dark Target. Now, I know this is quite a liked card. Choose a monster on your opponent's field, and during this turn, when that monster is destroyed, draw a card and you gain 1 life. This is very, very useful, especially if your opponent has a nicely soul-guarded monster, say with 2 Soul Guard or something. You are getting a nice bit of draw and life gain from that if you can hit it multiple times. So, very good card for Darkness Dragon World there. Wolfmast Ninja, Benizumi, for the Katana World. Just 1 simple ability. It's got a Penetrate, 5,000 power, 2 crit, 1,000 defense. So it's not going to be around for long, but with the Penetrate ability, hopefully you can just use this to pick off the last few bits of health. Another Steel Fist Bare Knuckle, but this time with the nice foiling effect. 100 Demon Sorcery, Runayusha. Giant chest cannon. Who doesn't love chest cannons? So it's a counter spell for the Ancient World where you get to destroy a monster on your field and put the top card of your deck into the gauge. It does have its uses. I'm not big on Ancient World combos, but there are uses there for it. And then we have the Scorn of Gremlin for the Ancient World. So you only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn, and it counters by nullifying the attack if it's not a link attack. So just it's a standard null attack for them, but I think it just doesn't work on the odd link attacks, which quite infuriates me sometimes when they don't work on link attacks. Destruction Demon, Razorback. So costs 2 gauge and put the top card of a wider. Put this card on top of a Wide Circle or 100 Demons monster on your field. So this generates Soul Guard, and it also has Penetrate and Counterattack. I think it needs that Soul Guard with only 3,000 defense, but with 6,000 attack and 2 crit, the Penetrate and Counterattack are going to be relevant and useful. Great Demonic Sword, Calamity. Another Sorcery. Ooh. Another Igneo. Armonite Serpent. So this is a size 3 for Danger World. So let's see what he does. 8,000 power, 6,000 defense and 2 crit. Cool cost is to put a monster from your field into your drop zone and pay 2 gauge. Then he's got Thundermine. When a monster enters your opponent's field, deal 1 damage, so no criteria on that one. And it has double attack as well, which 8,000 power with the 2 crit, that's quite nice, I think. That's a very nice card for Danger World. And then we have the Call Dragon Mygodos. So, size 1 monster. It cannot be called to the center. It Thundermines when when a card is put into your opponent's gauge, and when your opponent is dealt damage by the effect of Thundermine, put this card into a drop zone. So, it's kind of just a one-shot. Not fantastic, unfortunately. Especially as the ability, this top ability only activates once per turn. It would have been nice if it activated multiple times and then only got removed at the end of turn if the Thundermine had occurred. So, oh well. So we have another one of the Yomi Mononimi, the No-Brainer, the Impact 100 Legion, one Wind Hate Dragon Left Slasher. So we've seen the left slasher, we need the right slasher. Another one of him, Mr. Chest Cannon. Ooh, and we have a double R, Armor Knight Tiger A. So, size 1, 3000 power, 2000 defense, and 2 crit. Act. If you have 5 or less life, you may put this card from your field into the soul of your weapon. And then act, put this card from the soul of your weapon to your drop zone, and then for this turn, a weapon on your field gets double attack. So obviously you can only do this if you're 5 or less life, so it's sort of like a last ditch thing. But being able to get double attack off on your weapon could mean the difference between winning and losing, so can be useful, but again, it's a little bit situational for my liking. We have another Gate of Dragon, another Crush, another Reuse and something, another Guillotine Axe, another Proto Golem, and Poison Dragon Emperor, Misty MV. So this is double R, only 1000 power and defense, but it is a size 0. Cool cost is a gauge, and it has the Noxious Fog ability. So when your opponent is dealt damage by the effect of your card, draw a card. Unfortunately, only once per turn. That would be absolutely horrible if it was more than once per turn. But the extra draw could be useful for Ancient World. Because the set has so much direct damage dealing, you know, getting that extra draw is always useful. Everyone loves to draw extra cards. So we have another Death Sacrifice. You finally done it. Another Scorpion Armor. Another Higher. Another Serpent. I do like that Serpent. Oh, the Triple R, 100 Demons General Gishingyuki. So that's quite nice that we've pulled that, so we can see them side by side. So obviously, as I said earlier about his abilities and stuff, but now we can actually see the SP and the Triple R side by side. That is very nice to pull those. I think the artwork on the SP does unfortunately outclass the one on the Triple R. Sorry for you people out there who are trying to collect these. Whilst both of them are very nice artwork, I just love the gold foiling effect on this one. And again, oh, don't drop him. So that was nice to pull both of those. So only a couple of packs to go now in this booster. I suddenly lose the ability to open them. So we have another Evil Deity Altar, another Do or Die, another Naga, a Mysterious Yes. Oh, King of General Knowledge, Furcus. So this is for the Magic World. Cool cost is to pay a gauge and put size 2 or less 100 demons from your drop zone into his soul, and he gets all Thundermines of cards in its soul, and it has the Soul Guard ability, so you could potentially lose those Thundermines, unfortunately, but it would keep him alive and, you know, allow you to get extra Thundermines, so very cool. And then we have the Gate of Darkness Dragon double R. So again, very nice foiling effect on there. So this is a spell for the Darkness Dragon world. So you have to set it, and at the start of your opponent's main phase, you may pay a gauge to call up to 2 size 1 or less monsters from your drop zone as your left or right by paying its call cost. You can do this once per turn. And when this card is put from your field to the drop zone, deal a damage to your opponent, and you can only set one of these on your field. So if you include this with one of the movers, very cool for moving stuff around, but it's just useful to be able to get those monsters back from your drop zone, because you probably have sacrificed them or, you know, removed them in some way. So very cool. So penultimate pack, let's see what we get. So we have another Nemesis Thunder, another Steel Fist, an Evil Dryad, a Wolf Masked Ninja, Black Dragon Befryan. So this is for the Darkness Dragon world. It's a size 1, only 1000 power and defense again, but 2 crit. And when he attacks your opponent's monster, destroy one of those monsters. So He's sort of like a suicide runner, effectively. Very useful though. And Demonic Beast, I think. So it's a size 1, only 1,000 power in defense again, but this time with 3 crit. So as you can see, no abilities, but 3 crit. Very nice. And then the last pack. We have a Razorback, a Dark Target. Like I said, anyone playing Darkness Dragon mode needs to be playing this card. A Rock Dragon, a no-brainer. Yes, Death Target is a no-brainer, but this is the foil version of it. Pretty. We have a Cool Dragon, and our last card is the Great Leader Anson, so the Ruler of Terror, he himself. So, he's a size 3, 9,000 power, 7,000 defense, and 2 crit. Costs 2 gauge to play, and when he enters the field, you may call up to 1 size 2 or less Dark Hero or 100 demons from your drop zone by paying its cool cost. That card becomes a size 0 monster as long as Great Leader Anson is on the field. So it's a size 3 that allows you to have additional support, which he is lower than a lot of size 3 monsters, but having that additional support with extra whatever abilities they're going to bring with them makes Great Leader Anson, I think, a very, very good card for the hero world. And there we have it. That's all the boosters opened from a H-EB03 booster. I am so happy we got an SP and the RRR version of him. So that's very cool to pull in one pack, in one box. For those of you who've got your own boxes at home, I hope you have exactly the same sort of luck as I have here by pulling these. But yeah, so the set overall, obviously there's a massive focus on 100 Demons and Thundermine, as you can tell from the fact it's called the Lord of 100 Thunders. They weren't being coy with the fact that it is all about hundreds and thunders. So I think Thundermine's going to change the game quite a bit. It's going to be interesting to see how players are going to react to playing against decks like that, because it can potentially alter the way you're going to play it. I just love that there's the Ruler of Terror card in here that allows you to have an alternate win condition. I've always been a fan of those. Yeah, you know, overall the set's pretty good. I think for those who aren't interested in sort of like the Thunder Mines and the set spells, unfortunately there isn't a huge amount. And whilst there is a bit of everything for every world, there also isn't arguably enough support for each one individually. So, but the next set, All-Star Buddy Plus, I think it's called, will again introduce support for each world. So it'll be interesting to see what that one brings. So remember, everything you've seen here today can be bought and sold on our website, bigorbitcards.co.uk, including this lovely RRR and lovely SP. I'm just going to bring that up to the camera one last time because I am so happy to have pulled that. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this unboxing of H-EB03. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos as we'll do future unboxings for future card Buddyfight. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.